Yes, you know what it is. You know the time. You know the sound.
Yes.
Boston has entered the chat.
Yes.
He's Travis Thomas. I'm George Balekji. We're coming to you guys from the PNC Bank Studio. T, how are we doing today,
Man,
bro?
I'm doing great. I tried to set up a zip line in this studio before the show so that when you intro me, I could come zip lining in. Maybe to like Creed. Can you take me higher? But I couldn't get the zip line to work. And I couldn't get the speaker connected to my Bluetooth to play the song. So I just decided to sit here instead.
It wasn't the like 8-foot ceilings.
Nah, well, it could have been.
Or like the width of like
It could've
10
been.
feet, like where the zip line. And
All these things worked against me.
that's what you were doing this morning?
Yeah.
That's why you're late to the production
I
meeting?
was trying. Listen, here's the thing, okay? We'll bring you behind the curtain here. George and I have a ton of ideas, okay? Right now, the issue is our budget isn't exactly where it needs to be. So we're trying to work with Ness in here. We're trying to get pyrotechnics, unicorns,
Yep.
sprinkles, fireworks, all kinds of things. But these things take time.
I'm just happy the pyrotechnics didn't work out for you because now I'm just picturing you working with pyrotechnics.
I mean,
Indoors.
Like JPP.
Indoor. That's not JPP. That's all of us. It's pyrotechnics indoors. To our
That's a good
bosses
point.
that are listening.
That's a good point.
I came in. I saw Trav. I heard fire. And then I said, what are you doing? And he said, nothing, Dad. And I said, get back to your desk right now. So,
Then in the distance, you heard, run for your life.
yeah, exactly. The guy walks in with a flamethrower. What are you doing here? Who is this?
Help me, please.
Hey, we got plenty for you guys today on Boston's End of the Chat. We'll go through Travis's wishes of being a pyrotechnic and his zipline along with walkout songs. Jeff Bezos.
Hey.
No plan to bid on the Celtics. We'll get into that.
All right.
Patriots wide receiver and that conversation going on with Javon Baker sliding down the depth chart. Potentially, we'll talk fantasy football tight ends and who should be tight end one off the board. Should be Laporta, Kelce, Trey McBride.
Now you're
We'll get
talking.
to all that. And then we'll rank our top 10 goalies of the season after NHL Network ranked their own. Let's start with the lead on this one. A lot of excitement earlier in the week. You know, Bill Simmons was on his podcast and he said 100% Jeff Bezos is interested. It is catching steam. It's going to happen. He is looking into bidding on the Celtics.
Yep.
Then according to a person close to Bezos, this is via theinformation.com, there is, quote, zero truth to the idea Bezos is interested in bidding on the Celtics. So just as quick as it was firing up and people are saying, well, you know, Bezos owning the Celtics wouldn't be bad, that fires out.
Listen, this is clearly what's happening with this guy because this happened with the Washington Commanders too. It was all the rumors that he was going to buy the Commanders. And then what I think's happening is everyone assumes because he's money bags that no matter what the price is, he's going to buy these entities, right? Well, it's not the case. I mean, at least in my experience, I have not met him personally, but in my experience with rich people, they are rich for a reason. It's because they have a budget and they stick to it. Yes, they may have money bags to buy the world and everything in it.
$200 billion.
But, hey, he can afford all these teams, right? He can buy the damn league. But what I'm saying is they have a plan. I'm talking of rich people things. They have a plan and they stick to it. Hey, what's the team worth? Blank. All right, I'm willing to go to blank. And then once you start getting in north of that number, they're out. Like Shark Tank, I'm out. So I think that's what happened here. I think he's probably hearing a lot of the numbers being tossed around. He's like, yeah, no, I'll just keep waiting. You know, I mean, this is the way this stuff happens. He's going to pick his spots, George. I think at some point there will be an Amazon Prime stadium somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not going to be the Celtics, and I'm fine with that.
I think it was him. Someone with his money, his power, that can give Irv Grousbeck liquid cash.
Right.
That can give him cash. Not a payment plan, not financing through a bank. No, hey, I'm coming in. Here's cash right now. You got it right away. $6.5, $7 billion. I think before he got to that step, he inquired about a new arena. And I think he found out it's a lot more difficult to do that. Because just like we saw, think about it. The Clippers used to rent out to the Lakers, but now they have Intuit Dome.
Right.
The Jets rent out to the Giants in MetLife.
Right.
No other teams rent out to others. The Celtics rent out to the owners of TD Garden. Like they are tenants in the Garden. They don't own it. They are tenants.
Yeah.
I think Bezos is like, that's going to be harder to work getting a new arena in Everett or wherever they want to put it.
Sure.
Or just that I'm paying rent. I don't own the whole building because it's more than owning a team. You own the building. It's a concert. It's everything that comes through. In a big city like Boston, I think he heard that and he was like, you know what? Seattle, I'd have the arena. Vegas, I'd have the arena.
Right.
I'll build one. I'll hold out for those.
And bro, it could be a combo of both, right? Where it's like the asking price and I don't get my own arena. I'm out of there.
Yeah.
I think that's a great point. Look, don't sleep on the NFL either. I mean, that's still
he wanted the Commanders, and Josh Harris outbid him.
I think he's just interested in a team of whatever sport.
Now, the Celtics are more valuable than the Commanders.
Of course.
No doubt. It's the NBA, more valuable than the NFL. But Commanders, same thing, getting a new stadium. So he would have gotten that maybe, right? Yeah. But I think the reason, like the zero truth to interested in bidding on the Celtics, I just think that's someone coming out and going, we're going to put this to bed so it doesn't look like Bezos got outbid, or let's just stop it now.
What does he care?
And you know what? In 3
care.
months, guys like that with egos.
I don't know.
Bezos, Elon, I don't know. Dude, I don't know what that world's like, but there's egos tied to that.
I know.
They don't want to be outbid again because it happened to him with Josh Harris and the Commanders. And also, you know what can happen next week? He could be back interested.
He could.
Because there can be something made, some progress in getting a new arena.
It doesn't even matter who it is. Whoever it is going to pay. Well, this is what I mean, though. It doesn't matter who it is in the instance that they are going to pay buku bucks. So that's it. I mean, you got to have deep pockets. And even what you were saying about being able to pay with cash. Think about this in our own lives. And we're nowhere near this dude's level, but when you pay cash for something, a used car, some people pay cash for houses. Generally, you could come in at a lower price because you're liquid.
Money's right there.
Yeah, I don't
need
financing. I don't need all these things. Here's the cash, but it's a little less than what you're asking for. I'm telling you, I think some of this is this dude tries to get deals. And when it doesn't happen and it doesn't present itself and the numbers keep going up, he's like, yeah, I'm out. I'm waiting for the right situation. Not only for an arena or in a stadium or whatever it's going to be, but also he wants to, when you talk about egos, I don't think it's so much being outbid. I think a lot of it is I want things my way. I want to do this my way. I'll come in with liquid. We'll go cash here. Let's get this done. I want an arena and I want it done fast.
And then he found out that arena is going to take a while.
Right. That's what I think.
I think that's what it is.
And the price probably higher than what he wants to go.
Quick advice I heard. Yep. When you go to buy a car, if you can buy it in cash, I can't imagine being in that. That'd be awesome. I still got X amount of payments. But go to the dealership. Don't tell them you're going to pay in cash. Because if you do, they won't negotiate the price down.
Right.
Because they lose money and they gain it back in the interest when you're making the payments if you finance
Sure,
them
they
or the
want
bank.
you to on payments.
So what you do, don't say you're going to buy it in cash. Delay the first payment. You can do it by a month or two. Get the car, you negotiate it down, go to the bank, and then give them the cash. Dealership will call you like, what happened? It's like, I had the cash. I didn't want to tell you.
I like
If you got cash to buy a car, you don't need to save a couple thou or 4 thou, whatever, but.
Did you know here on Boston has entered the chat, not only do we have pyrotechnics to come into the program, but we also teach you hustling 101 and how to get your money up. Now, George and I, we're still working on it, but eventually we're going to get there, and you could do it with us.
Remember, hide your money in Delaware. Don't forget that.
That's right.
Speaking of hiding your money, Pete Carroll, he's going to teach a class this spring at USC. I don't know if there was money involved with him with the sanctions he got, but coach at USC 2001 to 2009.
Yeah.
Obviously built him up to be one of the best programs in the country. They haven't been the same since he left. 14 years head coach with the Seahawks. He's going back to USC to be a teacher of what? I don't know.
Yeah,
we obviously know he was never able to coach there again. Oh, what is he going to teach?
Well, we teach hustling 101. He's going to teach cheating 101 with Pete Carroll. Come on in. Uncle Pete's going to teach you how to beat the system, cheat, and then get away with it by running to the NFL to get money. And then you get money, you get a Super Bowl. Should have had 2. Thank you, Pete Carroll. Then when it's all done and all the smoke clears and all the heat dies down, then you come back to USC, get some more money, and teach how to cheat. That's what it is.
Jim Harbaugh, excuse me, will be one of his guest speakers in class too. Same thing?
That's right.
Same
the
thing?
Pete Carroll playbook.
Look, there's not a single coach in Power 5 football.
That's a fact.
Power 5 basketball that has clean hands.
No argument.
Everyone's cheating at that level. There's not a single 5-star recruit out there that's clean. Even with the NIL world, this stuff is still ain't clean.
Facts.
My favorite story I heard, allegedly, Kyle Anderson was between Seton Hall and UCLA. Seton Hall recruiting trip basically took him to a adult entertainment club at night, probably a house party around South Orange. UCLA, somehow his sister got a job out in LA.
Oh, I wonder.
And so there's like the smart ways of hiding the money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Reggie Bush got housing and cars, right? Something. I forget what it was exactly. Can't provide housing to the family.
Right.
But if the daughter or the sister of the player gets a job and she can She gets a salary that can
what
afford
a great salary.
the family to live out there too. Yeah.
Well, she didn't have any prior experience though. Here's the thing. Nick Saban for years in Alabama and in Baton Rouge when he was coaching at LSU. No. He's had car dealerships for decades. All of a sudden, some 5-star recruits pulling up in a brand new Cadillac Escalade. How did that happen? Oh, it's my uncle's. I bet it is. Uncle Saban, allegedly.
I forget what his name is. He played at Don Bosco Prep. He played down in Miami. Followed him on Instagram every night. Steak dinner, huge gold chains, brand new car.
Of course.
But this was before NIL. He ended up getting suspended and caught with violations.
Yeah.
Putting it out there like that.
It's a wild, wild west, man. It is what it is. I mean, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying in that world.
Yeah, honestly, even right now. Adam Sandler finally wrap up what's trending. Adam Sandler says Travis Kelce will appear in Happy Gilmore too.
Here we go.
I think it's a genius
It
for
is
Sandler.
genius.
Because, my first thing is don't redo Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
Like, Grandma got the house.
Right.
Happy learned how to putt.
Yeah.
You don't need to do anything.
Yeah.
Man, Travis Kelce, good for him.
Yeah.
Because what Sandler does by having him do a cameo, he gets the Swifties to watch his movie.
Smart.
That's it. Simple as that. You get that whole new audience. A lot of them younger to not even know what Happy Gilmore is. Now they're watching because Travis Kelce's in it.
I'm going to use this as a tease situation here, but I think this Travis Kelce news is tremendous for Adam Sandler for everything that George just laid out with Happy Gilmore 2. Genius. But it is devastatingly bad for Travis Kelce. And I'll tell you why later on in Boston has entered the chat. How's that?
That's a nice tease.
That's pretty damn. That's professional right
I
there.
like that.
By the way, I was just golfing recently.
Oh.
Did a Happy Gilmore off the tee.
Tear
Let's
your
just say,
shoulder?
oh, man, I broke everything.
Yeah.
I mean, from knees to back to ankles, shoulders, everything. It was terrible.
Did whoever you were golfing with look at you and say, get the F
No,
out
they
of here?
laughed. They thought it was funny.
All right, at least there. You're there
Yeah.
for entertainment.
I am.
Not good hitting, but
Nope.
entertainment at least.
Yep.
All right, let's get into on the Patriots wide receivers. As they're getting ready for the third and final preseason game at the Commanders,
Yep.
which is big for Drake Maye on the team because it's finally on the road. So that's a test. Before they open up on the road at Cincinnati,
Right.
get their test run being on the road at Washington. A lot of reports coming out. It's Chad Graff from The Athletic, Doug Kyde of the Boston Herald, even our guys, Keegan Stiefel, and Sean McGuire of NESN.com as well.
Yep.
Javon Baker stock going down. Tyquan Thornton, his stock is actually going up. And this was from Chad Graff of The Athletic. Quote, his spot on the roster is virtually guaranteed, talking about Javon Baker, but his position on the depth chart is dropping. He'll likely open the season as a team's number 4 or 5 wide receiver, eventually dropping further once Kendrick Bourne returns. Javon Baker needs a strong preseason finale on Sunday. I barely had a finale to that quote. End quote, though. I'm not shocked. Javon Baker did not look good against the Eagles. Now, people are going to point to, well, he dropped Drake Maye's best pass of the game, that 55-yard C down the middle, deep post.
That's what did it.
Perfectly played. No, it wasn't to me on that one. It was the 2 go balls along the sidelines where Javon Baker was a receiver running the route.
Yeah.
His struggle coming out of college was struggling with press and his strength and somewhat of his route running, especially down the field.
Yep.
As a guy that's a boundary receiver with a good catch radius, strong hands, and could go up and get 50-50 balls, he got the crap beat out of him right off the snap at the line of scrimmage and pushed off his route. He's lucky, and this is a credit to Drake Maye. What do they say about the routes along the sideline? Put the ball where only your receiver can get it. He did that, and that's why they were both incompletions. But Javon Baker just got absolutely sunned on both those routes, and that can't happen. That's a glimpse into the struggles he has. And he's a 4th-round pick.
That's right.
This guy coming into the season, at best, was going to be a wide receiver 3. So if he starts as a wide receiver 4 or 5, it's not that bad. And Trav, again, this is a reminder. It's about situations that support young quarterbacks, especially rookie quarterbacks. The situation, the wide receiver room is still not good. And Javon Baker's a glimpse into why.
I don't think you're wrong with anything you said, but I think it's an incomplete take. I think there's an elephant in the room that I've been salivating to address since this kid showed up. And I told you, I told you this day would come.
It's not because of the wheelchair.
Yes, it is. I do not believe for a second Tyquan Thornton's stock is skyrocketing. That's BS, okay? Here's what's going to happen. I could see into the future with this bald head of mine. Thornton's going to do what he always does, okay? Get ready in this next game, in this preseason game. He's going to outrun everyone. He's going to be wide open. by 10 yards. Ball's going to hit him in the hands, and the boy got hands like feet. He going to drop the ball. That's what's going to happen. This is about Javon Baker needing to be humble. I told you when he got here and he started talking all that jibber jabber. I said, man, mighty bold for a 4th-round pick out of UCF. I mean, hell, Marvin Harrison Jr. is a generational talent who went to Ohio State. Could have been the number 1 pick had it not been for Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels. And this guy, you can't get a word out of him edgewise. Now, some of this we understand is personality-based. I get it. He's just a quiet guy. Javon Baker comes in here talking like he's Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson don't even talk like that. He does it on the field with the gritty and the teeth and the big personality. Javon Baker coming in here talking like he's about to be Jerry Rice, Terrell Owens, Randy Moss, Justin Jefferson combined. Bro, you got to slow down. Sit down, be humble. Put your head down, grind, get better, and work. All that stuff you were talking, 3 receptions for 23 yards in the preseason so far, and you should have a lot more. George just laid out all the plays that you didn't make, that were right there for you to be made. Stop talking and put in the work. Let your game do the talking. Then when you do that, we see you can ball. We love the bravado. Talk all you want. But don't come in here talking all this mess and then give this. I told you this was going to happen. This is exactly why you need to be humble, both in victory and in defeat. I hope he takes this. It's a humbling moment. He gets better for it. He puts in the work. Put your head down. Put the hard hat on. Pack the lunch. Let's go. And then you get better for it, and then you have years and years to talk with the New England Patriots because your play is backing it up.
That talk and that play had him good at UCF and made him an NFL prospect. I don't mind it. I just knew he had his shortcomings. It is that this wide receiver room is so bad that people thought Javon Baker and Jalen Polk can be wide receiver ones. And, like, they will be good one day. I really think
Polk better. You've always liked Polk.
I just think he's smart. He gets open. He's reliable. He catches a ball. And he's tough across the middle. Yeah. He's just a good, reliable receiver. Yeah. And every offense needs that. You need that explosive guy. You need that elite dynamic outside playmaker, which the Patriots don't have.
Right.
And they try to get it this offseason, even after drafting both these guys. Yeah. With Javon Baker, it's going to come a time. I just think he's a project. I think he would take in a couple years to develop. Mm-hmm. And at best, if he becomes a wide receiver 2 in an offense, man, he is so far exceeding what his ceiling is and expectations.
Yep.
So I'm not too shocked. What gets me is the top unit that's been coming out and kind of emerging at camp. Tyquan Thornton, Jalen Polk, Pop Douglas. People are going like, wait, Tyquan Thornton's a top 3 receiver? No, it's Tyquan Thornton's a field stretcher. Yeah. Jalen Polk's reliable, tough, intermediate, deep down the field, but across the middle. Yeah, run every route. And then Pop Douglas is a slot guy, but limited deep down the field. You need those 3 levels.
Right.
And when Jacoby Brissett's been in or when Drake Maye's been in, it's been a lot of 11 personnel. So we're seeing 1 running back, 1 tight end, 3 receivers. Mm-hmm. That might be how it is. That's how it's going to be, how it goes. This is just a reflection of how poor this roster is right now and how far away they are from being a quality offense to support a rookie quarterback. That's what I think it is.
It's hard to argue that, man. When you give me you give me that lineup, I still don't really feel like this is a final, roster in terms of wide receivers. Thornton, Polk, and Douglas.
What are they going to do? Sign Hunter Renfrow?
No, I just think there could
Brandon Ayuk's like, all right, give me the money.
I just think there's going to be shuffling and who the hell can play in this group and who can. I actually, being a veteran guy, I said this to someone earlier. I feel like Osborne is what Juju should have been because Osborne's just a reliable,
shorter routes,
veteran.
More underneath.
Yes, just like what you're getting from him, and it's consistent.
He's plus in the return game too.
Yes, he is. That's where I would like Thornton if he could hang on to the ball with that speed, but you can't trust him to hang on to the ball.
He was good in Baylor. He was good in college football. Yeah. It's a different level here. He has a limited route tree, only runs fly routes.
Are terrible.
And he doesn't stay healthy. Now, he put on weight this offseason, like good weight, so we'll see if he can be more durable.
This is going to be a big preseason game for him, so we'll see. I have zero faith. Look, out of all these receivers, I'll be honest, I've been saying it all along. I know he's smaller. I really like Pop Douglas. I like what I've seen from him. To me, to be fair, I think he's the playmaker in this group. I think, it's a sad state of affairs to say Pop Douglas is your number one receiver.
6th round pick out of Liberty.
Because we know he's not a true number one in the definition of it. But listen, in this group, sorry, Pop Douglas is your number one receiver.
He's going to lead him in targets,
Yes.
catches,
Yes.
touchdowns we'll see in the
He
red
can
zone.
play.
It could go tight ends.
He can play.
No, he can. And again, with Pop Douglas, it's a question of durability as
Right,
well.
right.
Like, don't be surprised. And again, new front office, new head coach, new offensive coordinator. Pass regime may like Pop, and he shows those glimpses. Like, he's been great at camp. He's been the most consistent playmaker. But again, in the upcoming draft, watch them to go out and get a big receiver, like 6 foot plus, 205 pounds plus, like a Harris out of Ole Miss. But then also watch for them to get, another slot receiver. Like, they're going to have to double dip again in this upcoming draft in wide receivers. They
with it.
have to do it. And if they do it the draft after, they might have to do the same thing. I talk about the Green Bay Packers all the time.
Yeah.
Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks, Christian Watson,
Sure.
Romeo Doubs, all guys they drafted.
Yeah.
Then Luke Musgrave, I forget their other tight end, guys they drafted. You go out, you accrue talent, you teach them the system, and you always want receivers on cost control contracts. To me, it's going to be the top 5 receivers out of this group. It's going to be Jalen Polk, Pop Douglas, KJ Osborne, Kendrick Bourne when healthy.
Yeah, he's got to get help.
And then that 5 spot to me, like Tyquan Thornton by default is the best downfield threat because they don't have too many of them. But then we can see what Jalen Reagor does because that's their kick returner and punt returner right now too.
I don't feel comfortable about any of those names you said.
And you want Drake Maye to start week 1.
Well,
I got to throw water on your fire that you're going to light this
that's
studio
fair.
up with.
It's fair. It's a
like
fair.
you don't feel comfortable with any of those pass catchers.
Can I say?
Oh, by the way, Hunter Henry, who's okay, he's like serviceable tight end. Oh, and by the way, Austin Hooper, journeyman tight end. Oh, by the way, hold on. Oh, by the way, Vidarian Lowe at left tackle.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, by the way, Chuks Okorafor at right tackle.
Okay, I have nothing for the offensive.
Also, wait.
Okay.
First time offensive play caller.
Yeah. Keep going.
Defense, it won't be that good because they're missing its 2 best players. We'll see how Christian Gonzalez is.
Any more?
I just don't think situation and a really tough schedule, especially the first 6 weeks of the season.
No doubt. We good here? Okay. This is all I'm saying.
And it's also a quarterback project. Okay.
It is. Okay. I have nothing for the offensive line because, listen, George breaks this stuff down to a science. He loves offensive linemen lining up. This is what they do. But for me, it's as simple as, can you block? Can you protect my quarterback? Can you open up holes in the run game? So I defer to George there. Offensive line, no argument. But as far as receivers, I mean, we have a history in this league of quarterbacks who are good. Not elite, not great like Brady, just good, solid quarterbacks, elevating the players around them. Skill position players, wide receivers, tight ends, running backs, etc. All I'm saying with Drake Maye is, yes, this wide receiver group doesn't look great. However, if Drake Maye gets in there, can present dual threat ability that Jacoby Brissett cannot, has not, will never do. Drake Maye gets in there, you get some run plays with him by design, some run plays because of this offensive line. Let George tell it. He'll be running for his life, but he can still run. That opens up an offense a little bit because the defense is going to have to respect that. That's all I'm saying. Drake Maye can get that shot in the arm to this putrid offense that you need. That's all I'm saying. I believe the receivers collectively, because there's no true one, as we just talked about, but collectively, this wide receiver unit can be better with a Drake Maye than they can a Jacoby Brissett, who does not present those same talent abilities that Drake Maye does. That's all I'm saying. But I will not argue with you about that offensive line. You're right about that.
It's not a 2024 play for this team. It is 2025, 2026, all the way through 2035.
Right.
First contract, which will give you 4 or 5 years of cost control.
Yep.
Then an extension after that, which should be 4 years. So It's about 9 years down the road. I don't care about these receivers and what yardage they get and what contracts they get. It's about an organizational decision. Like Gerard Mayo said that himself too, and Elliot Wolf as well, as an organization, these are what the decisions are. Like Drake Maye, he said the 100% ready to run a huddle. He didn't say 100% ready to be a starting quarterback.
Right.
It's a step-by-step for Drake Maye. So yes, I know. Like Drake Maye is a more talented thrower of the football. Who is a better professional quarterback? Who runs the system, keeps everything on track? Now, if Jacoby Brissett comes out and looks absolutely terrible, and this offense just sucks. Well, you look and all right, Bailey Zappi's with another team, and Joe Milton, like, just, you're not going to do a 6th round pick and then give him life and it creates some drama in the locker room.
No.
You're going to turn to Drake Maye and go, put the kid in, but it's only if the offensive line is ready.
Sure.
I don't care about who gives these wide receivers a better chance to play well. And honestly, it's not about winning games right now, because if you're the Pats, you want a top 3, top 5 pick, because you want Will Campbell out of LSU to be your starting left tackle.
He's already scouted.
Never missed a snap. Starting as a true freshman in the SEC. Has yet to miss a snap entering his true junior season. Hasn't missed a snap.
I mean, listen.
Really good, athletic.
George has already
moves.
scouted the Patriots draft for you. We don't even need to watch college football. It's already done. The work's done.
It's in my mind. Do I go through my Google? No, I'm not.
It's a beautiful mind you have, my friend.
It sucks. I hate that I'm doing it already. But I'm like, I have to put this list together because it matters. And we both love college football.
Oh, my God.
Best time of year. Did I tell you, my girlfriend, we were trying to plan something. She's like, October 12th.
No.
And I was like, that is the best Saturday.
That's the day.
Early on in the year.
I got to give it to the people now. Filibuster.
Because we were trying to plan something. And I'm like, the Friday, following Saturday.
You can't do it, bro.
It is something that's very fluid. Like, there isn't a hard cap on it. It's like, we'd like to do it on this date. And then she pulls it up on that. Now we're going to do the contest while filibustering.
Well, mine picks these.
I pull up the schedule before Travis does?
I got it. All right. Mississippi State and Georgia play.
Yep.
Oh, man. Why did you do me like that?
Come on.
I had a list.
Mississippi State, Georgia, Ohio State at Oregon. That could decide the Big Ten.
That's the one.
Ole Miss at
LSU.
Penn State at USC.
Ooh-wee.
Florida at Tennessee.
Oh, my God.
It's mainly those games, though. Ooh, Wisconsin at Rutgers, y'all.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll wake up, start my day with a little bit of the Badgers.
Kansas State, Colorado. Did you say that one?
No, I didn't. That'll be a good one.
That's another good one. Texas, Oklahoma. I mean, listen, you can't go anywhere on October 12th. Let's translate this for everyone involved here, because we're all in the chat together, right? Don't have any plans on October 12th except sitting on the couch with some wings, some pizza, the beers, and watching college football, because that's all you need to do. What if you were getting married that day? What if
like me, I am doing it. Like, I am getting married.
But you got to have a TV there?
No, dude, it's...
What do you do? I think you cancel the wedding.
No.
I think the whole thing's off.
If it's my wedding, the amount of planning that goes into that stuff, bro, I'm going to party my ass off. I'm doing no TVs. I don't care. It's my wedding. My wedding? I'm not going to be watching TV the whole time. F that.
Listen, bro.
I know it's a great college football Saturday.
You're a better man than me.
But here's the thing.
I am calling it off. It's off. I'm calling the caterer. Hello?
I would not get married in the fall.
Yeah, no, we can't do that. I got married in the fall. I rolled the dice. What
was the date?
My anniversary is October 24th. And by the way, all my friends, I've told you this before, I have ACC friends out the yin yang. So it's Florida State boys, Clemson boys. And we had a TV rocking in mine. Old school, like when you were in school and they rolled a TV.
Wheel it out?
We had an old school joint just in the corner at the reception only. Not during the ceremony. You can wait an hour. I think my ceremony is like an hour. But at the reception, we had it in the corner. I had some Notre Dame friends there. They were watching there. It was cool. It was heated to like who would turn the channel to what. Yeah. But we had a TV.
I would do the back door solid. I'd tell my boys, like, no TVs.
Yeah.
If you brought an iPad, I wouldn't hate it.
Right, or a phone, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Today's
that's
tech.
fair. Yeah, that's fair.
You know what that tells me about your wife? Very understandable woman.
Well, she was at that time. Now,
well, yeah, because she's
about 10
she's like,
not
yet. 10 years of putting up with you. The patience is zero.
Yes.
I don't blame her.
Bro, look at you.
We barely made it 4 months. We barely made it 4 months. Pyrotechnics. I don't know if we're going to make it to a year.
There was one episode where George said, George Balekji here with Travis Thomas, the human man child. I can't help it. I am who I am.
That's why I love you. All right, let's get into fantasy football talk. Top tight ends. So it's always a conversation of where to draft a tight end, who goes first, and all that.
Yep.
To me, the question is always, when is your draft, right? Like, the closer it is to the season, things can change between today and tomorrow, obviously, injuries and all that. But right now, this is ESPN's top 10 rankings. In order, Travis Kelce, Sam Laporta, Mark Andrews, Trey McBride, Dalton Kincaid, Evan Ingram, George Kittle, David Njoku, Kyle Pitts, Jake Ferguson, 1 through 10. I'll say this, 1 through 10, I'm comfortable with 7 of those tight ends being my guy.
Who?
So I'll go Kelce, Laporta, McBride, Kincaid, Ingram, Njoku, Ferguson. I don't like Pitts. I don't like George Kittle.
You don't like Pitts?
And I don't like Mark Andrews. I'm just going to stay away from Mark Andrews coming off that significant
What's
injury.
up with Pitts and you? That's your guy. He is Kirk Cousins.
Pitts is my guy with flag football talk, but I got to see it to believe it that he can be a guy where you target him. I'd rather go Drake London. And in an offense where in the red zone you're going to have Bijan Robinson, Darnell Mooney, Drake London, and Kyle Pitts. I just don't know where it's going to go. But it's also like, why would I pick Kyle Pitts, drafting him out of spot over Jake Ferguson, where it's only CeeDee Lamb and Jake Ferguson?
Sure, okay.
Right?
Yeah, I get it.
Or where if you go with David Njoku, it's Njoku, Amari Cooper. I know they got Jerry Jeudy. I would stay away from Njoku too, just
Chubb
because of
coming back.
Chubb coming back, because of the unknown with Deshaun Watson. And again, Alex Van Pelt, who's now here, was the offensive coordinator with David Njoku out in Cleveland when he had a great year. But I want to start with, we've seen Trey McBride actually in some drafts be tight end 1, which
that's where I'm at. I'm not a tight end 1. Let me look. So would you give me 6 names?
I gave you 7 I'd ride with.
Okay.
I really kind of cut it down to 6 after talking about it.
I have 3. I'm going to shock you here. Honestly, tight end 1 for me is Sam Laporta.
I agree with that.
Let me just be honest. 2, I'm willing to go Mark Andrews. And the reason why, Mark Andrews is someone who, when healthy, he's as good as anyone in the league. And Lamar Jackson loves throwing to that dude. So as long as he's healthy, he's going to get you points. He's going to get you tight end 1 points. So I'm going Mark Andrews. What I would recommend is probably carrying 2 tight ends on your roster if you have a Mark Andrews. That way, you're in good shape. Not if, when he gets hurt, because it's just a matter of when at this point.
So why would you draft? But then you're going to take him with a top 3 round pick.
But where I love, though, is who I'm targeting for me personally is Trey McBride. That's a guy. Listen.
You got to take one or the other.
I would take McBride over Andrews.
Yep.
But I love him because Kyler Murray, of course, as his quarterback, we all think Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be great. But if he's great, if we're right that this rookie can ball out, that's going to open things up more so for Trey McBride. I know a lot of people are doing the opposite. A lot of people are fading Trey McBride because they have Marvin Harrison Jr. I see it completely opposite. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is the kind of guy that can run any route, and he's definitely has the speed and the size and the athletic ability to run deep routes all day long. So if you do that, you're going to open up the middle of the field for Trey McBride. And, oh, by the way, wherever Marvin Harrison Jr. goes, the defense must account for him, which will open things up. I am so far away from being anywhere close to drafting Travis Kelce. I made a joke about this to start the show with the Happy Gilmore 2 news and all that. That's just part of the equation. But that is the equation with this guy. I mean, between Taylor Swift traveling, doing every interview possible to talk about his love for Taylor Swift, then now you have Happy Gilmore 2. He does the podcast with his whole family tree, it feels like. He's got everything going. He's in every commercial. I just think Travis Kelce at this stage of his career, at this advanced age, with the mileage on those tires, it just feels destined to either have one or two things, or maybe a combo here, of number one, he just takes a step back production-wise because Father Time's undefeated. It just is. Okay, that's normal. But two, which is the one I fear the most for him, and certainly fantasy owners if you draft him, it just feels like an injury waiting to happen. Like some sort of you're not as dialed in, you're not in the best of shape that you usually are, you're not as focused like you usually are. All the Taylor Swift stuff that happened during the season is one thing. But now the off season, all that kind of rolling into another season here, I don't know. Maybe it's doom and gloom for me and I'm thinking too negatively, but I just feel like it's just a gut feeling here with Travis Kelce, but I just have buyers beware. So I'd go Laporta, McBride, and Andrews. That's it. What
gets me with Andrews, though, is the range he's going in. You would take a Mark Andrews over a DJ Moore, who's going to enter his age 27 season going into his prime. The Bears just paid him, and with Shane Waldron coming into his system where he's going to be their best wide receiver. He's going to be their number one, and he has a good quarterback in Caleb Williams. He put up ridiculous numbers last season, saw over 110 targets as well.
He's really good.
And that was such an inconsistent offense with Justin Fields never really getting a fair shot.
Yep.
Or you could take a Jalen Waddle, or again, if you go skill guys early rounds, Anthony Richardson's going in the Mark Andrews range. So it's, again, I wouldn't want to take Mark Andrews over a DJ Moore and Anthony Richardson or Jalen Waddle. It's all the options you face.
Yeah, but that's strategy, George, because listen, I get the quarterback.
And that's what you need when drafting.
I get the quarterback a little bit with Anthony Richardson because of the dual threat ability, I'm assuming. But, there are other good quarterbacks, obviously, that you can draft. Also, there are a ton of good wide receivers you could draft. There are not, I know we have 10 here on this list, but I already told you, you went half of them, and I went 3 of them. You're not going to get great quality at the tight end position, so that's why you would roll the dice there.
But you can get a Dalton Kincaid later in the draft, and Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis, that's gone. 241 targets. It's Khalil Shakur and Dalton Kincaid. You can get them so many draft slots later. So then you have DJ Moore, and you still have a tight end, especially in a PPR league that's putting up good numbers, or Evan Ingram way further down. He got 143 targets last season. I don't care what he was averaging per reception. It was under 10 yards. 143 targets is insane. And now it's Brian Thomas Jr. there and Gabe Davis, but it's a rookie receiver as their number one and then go there. Or I just think it's, again, Jake Ferguson, if you think of the pecking order of the offense. What I do love about Sam Laporta, if you were to go tight end one, you go Laporta, because Jared Goff's strengths favor places to target the field, short to intermediate, middle of the field.
That's right.
Laporta got 26% of those targets from Goff last season. And the Lions, this is anything in the Lions passing game, they won't be in an open air game until week 9 at Green Bay. Like, they play at
domes.
Arizona, retractable roof. Then after that, 6 straight games in a dome. 6 straight until they're playing at Chicago at that point. He had the 3rd most targets among top 10 fantasy tight ends last season, and he had 10 touchdowns. He finishes tight end 1. He stays healthy. And I know Jameson Williams is back. I'm not buying into Jameson Williams. No, as a wide receiver, it's the pecking order for the passing game. It's Amon-Ra St. Brown, then Sam Laporta. And then Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery fall into some point of that. If you look at Trey McBride, him playing off of Marvin Harrison Jr., I think that opens up more from him. So it's a matter of, I'm going to go Laporta. If he falls to me at a good spot, which I don't think where I'm currently drafting in my league, it would happen.
Where are you at? What's
After
your spot?
that, 4th overall.
Yeah, no.
He's not going to be there on the back because he's not going first.
No.
But then when I'm looking at a Mark Andrews or a Trey McBride, I think pass on them because a Dalton Kincaid or Evan Ingram later. Or way later, and a Jake Ferguson get him as well.
Well, let me say something that's kind of simple here too. Don't overthink yourself to the point where you've gone cross-eyed over tight ends. I had Mark Andrews last season. We know how that ended. I hit the waiver wire. I scooped up Dalton Schultz with the Texans, who obviously a
Schultz
quarterback
is down there too.
A
now
quarterback
Stephon Diggs is in the fold. But
well, I'm just saying, a quarterback named C.J. Stroud was feeding Dalton Schultz just fine. Now, he wasn't getting Mark Andrews points, obviously, but it was solid. I wasn't losing my weeks because of the tight end position. I was able to still make the playoffs. So don't overthink it too much. Just get a solid tight end when you can. But these are the creme de la creme that we've talked about here.
If you go Mark Andrews, you can on the back end get a Jake Ferguson with a lot of value.
Yeah, that's
a
what
Dalton
I'm saying.
Schultz, a TJ Hawkinson.
You have to. It's like handcuffing a running back.
I am a believer in double tight end. I even do it in the way of there is going to be an owner out there that needs a tight end because there's only so many of them.
That's all I'm saying.
And then it's trade value. Where if I'm drafting a tight end because I don't like how the running backs fell,
that's all I'm saying.
Then you can trade in that way too.
It's like handcuffing running backs. It's the same kind of theory.
Yeah, go with 2 tight ends, 2 different systems. But you're right. If you take everyone from one backfield, eventually you're going to have the guy that the cream rises to the top. And all that. It's just interesting of how the tight ends, because it used to be, it was Kelce, it was Mark Andrews, and really after that, you're falling flat, right? But now the emergence of Laporta, even a Luke Musgrave out there in Green Bay, watch what he can do as well. Like those are other tight end you can say sleepers, guys that can break out. That can be a Luke Musgrave in Green Bay in that system that they love.
Sure.
And even if you look elsewhere, of course, there's always a threat. If you look at Sean McVay and what he does with the Rams as well. But it's tough with the Bears because they have so many mouths to feed. There's Gerald Everett and Cole Kmet in that system as well. But then on top of Cole Kmet and Gerald Everett, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, and DeAndre Swift. So they're the offenses where there's a lot of options, but there are offenses, even with Musgrave and Green Bay, there's a lot of receivers there, the smart ones to pick.
Absolutely. Facts.
And look at TJ Hawkinson, Jordan Addison, if he gets suspended, whatever he faces, whatever happens with him, Justin Jefferson and TJ Hawkinson, that's it.
Yep.
Sam Darnold's a starter. A guy like Sam Darnold who isn't that good, safe haven is always the tight end.
Hawkinson, you could probably get late too because he's coming off an injury. So, he's going to be available later than you would think based on his talent. So that's someone you could maybe get late, kind of stash in that backup position we're talking about. If you have a starting tight end and then when Hawk's healthy, plug and play, you're cooking with oil, baby.
All right, let's go into Ask the Chat. We got our boy Matt from Boston emailing us.
What's up, Matt?
Quick, to the point. I like it. Which core Celtics player will leave first and for what reason?
Oh.
Core Celtics. So you're thinking core. I mean, it's Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown.
Of course.
That's a combo here.
Yes.
There's Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
Derek White just got the extension. Kristaps Porzingis, this is his last year before becoming a free agent.
I think so.
So there's the core four. Really, this question is centered around two guys.
It's the two J's. I believe the last time you and I talked about this was after the championship parade and all the jubilee and celebration and the pomp and circumstance. And we got down to the brass tacks. In fact, I believe it was when we found out that Wick was selling or whatever. So we talked about how a new owner could come in here with the luxury tax that's going to be due, with all these extensions that's going to be due, with everything that transpired this offseason surrounding both Jays, but most notably Jaylen Brown. And I believe you and I agreed at that time that we could see a world where the Celtics decide, okay, we're going to shift some things around here. Jason Tatum's our guy. That's a cornerstone. And some of these other pieces are available to move, including Jaylen Brown. That's where I'm at here, Matt. Thanks for the question, too. I think Jaylen Brown will be the odd man out. I just feel like it's going to be sooner than later, too. I think the media, national media, makes a lot of these two guys not getting along and who's the man and all that. I do think a lot of that is hogwash and nonsense. However, Jaylen Brown's already paid like the man. And so he may want to go somewhere, especially now he has a championship. And again, correct me on all this stuff. You and I both, I think, believe that they repeat. So he could have 2 rings. He may want to go somewhere and kind of create his own legacy. He's got the money. Now it's just going somewhere by yourself and proving you're the guy. I could see that. That's my answer. I think Jaylen Brown could be moved here in the next, let's call it 3-4 years.
Out of the real core, I think it's Drew Holiday first. He's about to be 34, 35. Carrying a big AAV of $33.6 million. So I just think in that sense, and what he's done, you brought him in to come win a championship. I think he plays out this season, and then after that, they trade him. There's probably language in the contract that they can let him go. But yeah, if you go with the 2 big dogs, when it's Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, it just seems like the backing from the franchise is always behind Jason Tatum, and there's nothing Jaylen Brown can do about that. He won Finals MVP. He was a better player all throughout the playoffs. They paid him, and he got better. Let's see what happens with Jason Tatum after he gets paid if he improves his game. But Jaylen Brown's done everything. I just think there's the weird part of there's the politics in this and the business in this. And for Jaylen Brown, for whatever reason, he's always thought of his second fiddle. Now it's going back to draft night. It's the dynamic between him and Jason Tatum. And I think Jaylen Brown, in his own sense, too, let's say they go out and they repeat. To your point, I think he goes, I'm ready to lead my own team.
I think so.
And he knows he'll never get that opportunity organically here in Boston.
That's right.
I think that's a guy that can go, especially once the second apron comes down, once a new CBA kicks in. He goes and looks for teams out there that desperately need a number one.
Yep.
And also just, I think in the JB underdog, the JB motivation game, goes somewhere where he makes sure he's going to face the Celtics, whether it's somewhere in the East or the West where it would be in the finals, but goes and wins a ring on his own.
Yes.
Because I think he'll never be able to break that until he gets away.
I could totally see it. And, I know he's a Cali dude. There's a ton of California teams that are looking for the man here in the next few years.
Clippers, once they get past Kawhi Leonard and
LeBron's
that
on his
deal,
way out. Think about that.
I'd rather go
Bay Area. Those guys are all getting old. Draymond, Steph, all of them. I mean, look, there's not a team in the league that wouldn't take a Jaylen Brown. So he's going to have his pick of the litter in that sense as well, I bet you.
He went to Cal. Is he from Atlanta, though? Yeah, he grew up in Atlanta, but he went to Cal, so he's connected to both.
Yeah.
West Coast guy. I mean, he put important years there.
Yeah.
That's Matt from Boston. Thanks for emailing us. thechat@nesson.com. That's thechat@nesson.com. Thanks again for tuning in to Boston Has Entered the Chat. Catch us on Spotify, Apple, Amazon Prime. Like, subscribe, rate, review. Nesson YouTube and Nesson on Twitch. Subscribe there as well. He's Travis Thomas. I'm George Balekji. This was Boston Has Entered the Chat from the PNC Bank Studio. We'll see you guys next time.